Hello, my name is Michael Trainowski, and I'm here to tell you that it has arrived. And you may be wondering what has arrived, and what has arrived is this box. And this video is all about what's in this box. So if you want to know what's in this box, stick around to the end of the video, and you'll find out. But first, we have to look at what's in this box. And in this box is much of the labors in a particular form of ministry that God, I believe, has called me to. And in order to understand, you'll have to know a little bit about myself, my history. As a kid and growing up, I used to collect a lot of cards. So when I became a Christian, it was very easy for me to make the transition to taking the cards and the fascination with that and to sanctify them, to put Bible verses on them and use them for a holy purpose. So for those of you who know me pretty well, I've developed a reputation of when people are discouraged or struggling, I'd either write one up or make a card and share it with someone so that they can be encouraged or helped or helpful, learn how to memorize that better. All right, so we're going to look at these cards. Here's an example of the history of how I've been making them for a long time. It's all been either by hand or in simple ways. One of my favorite verses and part of the reason I make these is for people to go to these verses in their times of struggle so they can know that God is there, they can know that these promises are true. And for me, that verse was this one, and that's James 4, verse 7. This is one of the first cards I ever made. The verse is, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. The next verse is, draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. And cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. And this promise was so powerful to me because I knew that if I was in struggle, if I was struggling with temptations from self, if I was afflicted by the devil and his angels, I could claim that promise and submit myself first to God. It tells me the order to do it, and then I could resist the devil effectively, having first submitted myself to God. So as I moved forward, I started printing them. I just did some simple Microsoft Word documents and did this, and I started printing those, and I would insert them into these sleeves with a cardstock in the back for that same verse. And as I continued, I did a few different things. Here are two more verses of more handwritten things as I made them by hand. And I started doing the words of Christ in red and in red sleeves and things. You can see just these were verses that were significant to me that I wanted to hide in my heart, because the true core of this ministry is to help people hide the word in their heart that they might not sin against God. I recognize the significance of having something to catch the attention and deepen the verse in memory, so I decided to start embellishing the borders and things like that. And this is an example of that. So this is the journey that God's taken me on. There was a time later where I learned that it's far easier to take a Bible that's already been printed and convert it to this form and put those on cards. And these are examples of those, several of those versions. And further with that, I made some modifications and I did a little artwork on that one. So you can see that there's lots of different versions of these cards that God has brought me through. And this has been my burden for years. It's been about 3 years, I believe, that I've been desiring to move forward with this project. And it wasn't until recently that I really made a step forward. And that brings us to the box. So here's our box. And this is what I consider to be the first fruits of these labors. All these labors have borne fruit, I believe, but this is really the first time that these cards will be able to be distributed in a large way. So, in the absence of a sword, this knife will have to be sufficient to open this box. box here of cards like these, except printed in a professional way with the Bible Armory logo on the back there, and one of my favorite quotations, which reads, "The Bible is the armory where we may equip for the struggle." So it's my prayer that in distributing these cards, there can be thousands of people. I mean, there's 1,000 cards in this box, so these, if the Lord wills, these cards can go to 1,000 people, and they can know that they can hide the Word of God in their heart, and they will be equipped for the struggle. All right, so we've looked at the different parts of the card. You see the front, you have the verse. One of the things I really like about it is that it's designed so that you can hold it in your hand like this, and it hides the verse from view, so you can memorize the reference and then check and see if you were right. And then on the back, you'll see the quotation I mentioned. Here's the logo, which is depicting that we just need to go to the Bible and take the swords that are these verses, these words that God has given us to fight against the enemies in our life and to deal with self and all the different struggles we have. And then at the bottom, you'll see BibleArmory.com, which is the website for this ministry. It's currently in development, and it's my prayer that for many of you watching this video, it will be active at that time. But the vision for this website is to have a place where people can go and they can find a section on the website for their struggle with depression, or a section on the website for their struggle with food or tobacco or different struggles in life. And they can seek God through seeing the verses compiled there on that topic. So, and then in addition to that, it's my prayer that there can be a store established on the website where these cards can be easily purchased, and just for people who want to memorize themselves or distribute them. And for those of you who are interested in anything regarding pricing, or if you have any questions about this ministry, you can please contact me. The best way to do that is at BibleArmory@gmail.com. And while we're on that topic, I'd suggest and request that you like the Facebook page, Bible Armory. There's going to be a link to it in the description below. And there's all sorts of other social medias that there also will be links to. So please also like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content, and I hope that it's a blessing to you.